program called Lightburn, and it is made for a number of different products, Glowforge and a few others. I just bought an inexpensive Diwali laser, and I can cut with it and do a number of things, but I wanted to make some leather etchings, which is what I am doing here. So this is a piece of leather. It's about 1/8 inch thick, so it's pretty substantial, and it's kind of orangey. And what I did was I stained it with a it's actually an acrylic leather paint, dark brown acrylic leather paint, and I brushed it on this one kind of full, and then I sanded it down. And these marks are on here, but you know, it'll just add texture. I did this one and I dabbed it. So I'm looking at printing, etching actually something onto this piece. So I might do it on all 3 pieces, but this is what I'm going to etch on it. The grizzly bear there. And this is my program on my computer, and it's Lightburn is the name of the program. So I made 3 different bear etchings on this leather, and I need to get the dust from the burning off of it. And one guy suggested soaking it in water. Soak the whole piece of leather in water. I'm going to try that technique on this one here. And another guy suggested taking a wet paper towel and placing it over it and rubbing it, and then maybe that'll pull the dust up. I don't want it to smear. That has happened in the past, and I don't want that to happen again. I'll show you here how it happened here, and this is all dust from this engraving. So, you know, what am I going to do to cover that? Once I cut this out for the clock face, I'm going to have to figure out a way. Now, I could stain it with a darker stain, but I'll have to decide on that at a later date. Right now, I'm going to try and clean this. So, let me turn on a light. So I'm just gonna, you can see the bear face in there. This has got a finish on it because that's not coming off very easily. So I'll throw it down there, take this fingernail brush, and so it almost looks like it took the engraving. I can still see it over there. Let's see. Almost looks like it took the engraving away. And I don't see anything on my hands. But yeah, I can barely see the bear in the background, so thinking that's not a good idea. And I'll have to lay that piece flat too, so it dries flat. So now I'm just going to try and lay this over the top, press down, see if it pulls off any of that dust. So a little bit. I'll try it on this side. Actually, this works too, and it pulls it off of the background. Yeah. Yeah, so that's working too. The reason I'm doing this is so when I attach it to the back of the seat, you sit on it and you don't get this black stuff all over your clothes. But this is working nicely. Liking it. It's not staying on the clean area, which is good. So just keep trying to find a... And I let this sit overnight, so it's not like it dries on there or anything. That looks good. And this is the other one, and they looked identical, and you can see how it's going to be lighter, but that's okay. And I'll just brush the parts of this that came off. So the whole thing isn't soaking wet, and I like the darker versus this, but do a small area. So I might have gone over this one with a deeper setting. So So I like that one better. I think this was the last one I did. So you can see that all has to come off. So since that worked well on the leather, I thought I would try it on this piece of wood to see. It's not working as well. It's definitely cleaning it up, getting rid of a lot of the dust inside the markings, which I like it, you know, I think it looks good cleaned off. Maybe if I stain this first or seal it first with some kind of a polyurethane or a finish. Much better. Okay. So this is half done, half not done. It's looking way better. I like that. So I'll do that on all of them and wait till it dries, buff them in, then show you how that looks. So the wax functions as a sealer. It also brings out, makes it darker, so it increases your contrast. I don't know, I think they look pretty good. And these are gonna be the seats for some stools that I'm gonna make. This is the etching fresh out of the machine. I haven't wiped away any of the excess charcoal, which I'll show you in a second. It can be very, well, let me just show you now. See how it pushes up, see? You don't want that. Oops. And this is the way it looks when it's waxed. So it's a little darker, but it's sealed, and you're not gonna lose any charcoal. It's all done. Yeah, that wasn't. Well, maybe I should use fingers that aren't dirty already. It's not going to come off anyway. I like it better this way. I like the contrast, but it just doesn't hold. You end up with smudges, so I'll use the isopropyl alcohol and the wax. When it dries, I'll buff it up and it'll probably look better.